Well, Phil Collins, welcome to Countdown, welcome to Australia. You have the hottest single in England at the moment from the album, In the Air Tonight. I never really thought of you, even through the Genesis period, and even the latest album, I mean the last album, Duke, of you being a solo artist. I never imagined that.
Well, I think it's since Peter left, you know, and I started doing the singing as well as the drumming, I think it's... I've become more aware of doing... of the importance of sort of, I mean, just the fact that I've got better singing in Genesis. I mean, the last couple of albums have really drastically improved vocally. And I just started writing songs rather than just playing. And I also, I mean, about 2 years ago now, I got divorced, so I actually was on my own at home, as opposed to having the kids about. And so, therefore, I had an awful lot of time on my hands, so I bought an 8-track studio and went upstairs and put it in one of the bedrooms and started work, you know. And I've always played keyboards, but I got better and better at it, to the point where I was writing more and playing drums less at home.
Yours sounds like a big production.
Yeah.
I've got to say that. I mean, the album is superb, but it sounds, even In the Air Tonight with the drums and everything else, yet basically it's
sound-wise, I mean, a lot of trouble was taken over it, but, and it did end up costing a lot of money. I mean, it wasn't the fact that it was, I mean, I thought it was going to be very cheap because of the way it was being done originally. But, you know, as time went on, I mean, I got the musicians on, I mean, the Earth, Wind and Fire horn section. For instance, when I went to LA to do the vocals, I got them to do the brass parts. And they, you know, they're not cheap, but they've since become good friends, and they'll be doing the next Genesis album, I hope. I mean, there's all kinds of sort of, it was worth it, really. Steve Bishop sang on it on a track. Alfonso Johnson's one of the best bass players in the world, and he played on it. Clapton's a neighbour of mine, he played on it. I mean, I asked the best people, and they said yeah.
Well, let's just go back to last year. The Duke album, and especially in Australia, was highly successful, as was the single Turn It On Again. It was sort of, was it a rebirth for Genesis in a sense?
Yeah, it was. I mean, as I say, Duke was the first album we did after My Problems. And we took about a year off, really, because I had to sort myself out, and during which time Mike and Tony did their solo albums. So when we came back, we found that we didn't have much material. I mean, nobody had individual songs really written, apart from myself. Tony and Mike had used theirs on their own album, and it really kind of forced us into a position of writing as a group, which we used to do a lot, and then we didn't do for a while around and then there were 3 period, and Wind and Wuthering, and then suddenly with Duke we realised that, you know, it was good fun, you know, like this is what the essence of the band was, to really to sort of get one man's opinion pitted against another. And so Turn It On Again was a classic example of that, a group-written song.
All right, what about a possible tour of Australia with the group?
Oh, it's a very strong possibility. Either later in the year or the very beginning of next year. I mean, because we'll probably split the touring up into 2 sections.
Well, thanks for being on the show.
Oh, thanks for having me, yeah.
I'll tell you what, as I say, the album Face Values, we might as well tell the title, is an excellent album, and it's a very enjoyable and a very entertaining album. And In the Air Tonight is already turning out to be one of the classics for this year, so congratulations.
Thanks so much. Thank you.